guys, welcome. So I'm sorry you're on the floor right now, but this frame is a little bit too big for me to put on my craft table. So what I was hoping to do, so I bought this frame from IKEA. What I was thinking that I would do with it was take it apart, and I was thinking that I would make this frame say love. Now I have a lot of pink and gray in my bedroom. Yes, my husband is a very good sport, let's just say. However, he has an entire garage full of his stuff, and he also has, I call it a craft room. He gets mad when I say that. He says it's a work room, but mine's a craft room, his is a craft room. However, to make him happy, I call it a work room. Anyways, so I have a lot of pink and gray in my bedroom. So what I was thinking was that I was gonna do love. So the L in gray, the O in pink, the V in gray, and the E in gray here. So I thought I gotta take this apart and see what it looks like, and see if I can put the glass on the back without the back frame. But what I was thinking I would do was just use the white frame and the glass and then leave the rest of it. So let's just take it apart and see, and then we can use our Cricut I always refer to Cricut because that's what I have. I know that there are other cutting machines that people use and enjoy out there. So, I'm sorry if you use something different and I'm referring to a Cricut. I apologize for that. It's just that happens to be what I use. Okay, so take this. It's actually like a plexiglass, but it's nice and clear, and they put a protector on it until you're ready to use it. And for something like this, I was thinking that would be super good because, glass would be much heavier and probably a lot harder to put it in just by itself. In a frame this size, in a small frame, it wouldn't matter. The one thing I don't like is that these frames are the kind that have those little tabs that you have to push up, and they hurt your fingers. Sorry about that. My husband had come in to tell me he was on his way to work. It's Saturday. I do most of my crafting on the weekends, because I work a lot. So Saturdays are a little easier. I do some during the week, but most of mine's on the weekends. All right, so I got this apart. Yeah, my poor husband has to work most weekends. Okay, so I'm in my little pieces here. I've got my frame and my mat, which I'm sure I'll find something else to do with that. And then this, like I said, so these IKEA ones, have this film on them. My sister-in-law had bought some one time, and she was telling me how disappointed she was in them because they had these pictures in the middle of the frame. I don't know if you could see that. She didn't realize that there was a coating over it to protect the acrylic. Alright, so this And I think that that will be nice. Little piece of fur on it. My dog loves hanging out in here with me. And I love having my dog hanging out in here with me. However, sometimes get a little fur. She's not a shedder, but she's got like human hair. And if she goes more than a week without being bathed, her hair starts getting all weird, and then it'll make these little curly cues and come up. But she hates taking a shower, so I try to do it like every 10 days now that she's older, because she just doesn't like it. All right, and you can see a little bit of the tabs through it, but I don't think it'll be bad, especially once I put the, see, look, another piece of dog hair, especially once I put the letters on it. Okay, so we will move over to the, oh, no we won't, not yet. We have to see how big we're gonna do them. All right, I have my Cricut roller here. I really like this thing. It's the Cricut brand ruler. I got it, there was a buy one get one 40% off at Michael's, so I did. I don't usually buy Cricut supplies there unless they're on sale. Walmart can sometimes get some pretty good prices on Cricut supplies too. All right, so I'm just going to measure and see. So that's 18, so about 18 inches top to bottom. So it would be 9 for each letter if they were being flush. I'm going to leave a little bit of space, so I think I'll make each letter 8 inches in length. And then let's see where we are for our width. So 26 on the width, so 13. So maybe no more than 12. 8 by 12 for each one. All right. Now we're gonna open up this design space. This is a little sort of awkward angle, and I'm sorry. So I'm gonna replace my previous project. I'm gonna make a new one. So now what I wanna do is go to text. So I have the Cricut subscription, which I'm really glad that I did. I was unsure at first. I just bought the 1 year up front, and I'm really glad that I did. Actually, I find all kinds of just really fun things on there, and also some little add-ins that I was having a hard time finding. I was really surprised to find like little add-in pictures and stuff on the Design Space website. So for like print, I like this Cake Basics. I have a few that are just really kind of my favorites. I like that Botanicals too. That might be nice for the love. Let's try that and see. So on Design Space, if it has an A beside it, then that is part of the Cricut All Access that you pay for, and anything with an A is free. So I'm gonna make these I'm gonna just go ahead and put them the way that I want them. All right, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hit Actions, and I'm going to ungroup them. Now, really, I could, if I wanted, I could just keep it this way and make them the size of the actual picture. So I could do each one the size that I wanted, or I know that I was 23 and 17, so I could also do this and make them the width, make the whole picture. Didn't mean to do that. That's because I ungrouped them. But even if I am going to do that, I still need to move them. So the one thing with the lettering is you have to ungroup them and change the spacing to be what you would like it to be, because otherwise they really are sometimes spaced quite a bit out. And you can see how irritating it is sometimes moving them, but it is definitely important. Otherwise, you don't necessarily have the right spacing. Okay. With this one, unlock it, and then I just want to turn it a bit. Why is it not letting me turn it? Let me bring it up. Let's see if I can turn it. Oh, there we go. Okay, now we'll put it back. I just kind of want my O to be a little bit turned to the side. Okay, so now I had said I was going to do each individual letter, but as I think about it, I'm just going to do, nope, not true. The reason I have to do each individual letter is because of the size of it. It won't fit on my mat. If I don't do the letters each individually, then I won't be able to get a big enough picture. So for a second I was like, oh, I can just do the size of my mat and call it a day. But I'd also have to do it individually in order to make my O another color, unless I want to add that piece just to my mat. So you can do that whichever way. All right, so what we'll do is we'll make this, we said about 8. And no more than just see what looks good. All right. So I don't think we're going to be able to make them really wide, which is fine. We'll have a little bit of spacing, but we also don't want them to look weird. Yeah, that's all right. I think that'll be good. Let's see. Let's hit make it. So you can see, so I'm gonna just turn you this way for a second. All right, so I have my gray. I think I'm going to just barely have enough, but I think I'll have enough. Okay, so I have a bunch of different pinks, and I was trying to decide what I was gonna do. So I got this one on clearance. So Joann's was getting rid of a bunch of Cricut vinyl. I think that particular store was decreasing how much they had in stock. They had a lot. So I got this, it was on clearance $11.97, but then it was also an additional 40% off. So I got this for a really good price. I bought a whole bunch of vinyl that day because I got a lot of just really cute vinyls for a good price. So this is it's Natalie Milan. So this is a good deal because there's also 6 sheets in here. They're 12 by 12 sheets, and there's 6 of them. So let's see what all we've got. So I brought this. I was just wanting to somewhat compare it to, because I think I'm gonna do a pillow. This is iron-on. So this is Paper Studio from Hobby Lobby. I haven't used it before, but I'm gonna try it. $16.99. I got it when it was 40% off. So it was a much better deal. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't have paid that much for it. However, it's 12 by 24 inches. So that's actually pretty good. But I just wanted to match because I'm gonna do a pillow where the case has our last name on it. And I, just wanted to somewhat match the color. Not that it matters because I have multiple different shades of pink. So these tubes from Cricut, I saved these. I use them for so many different things. They're so thick and durable. I mean, I use them to hold things when I paint, like glitter cups I hold them for. When I do the hydro dipping, I put a football on the end of these and put them where a lot of people use the PVC. I've already got these available and they're so thick and sturdy, so I saved them. I'm all about saving and using any pieces and parts of things that I can. Because, this is such a fun hobby, but it can really get expensive. And, sometimes we have, other things that are unfortunately more important than our hobbies that we have to spend money on. So, and speaking of which, so the backing that, I say wood, but it's really that weird material. But the backing from our frame, I put that away. I'm going to save that, and we'll do a project with it. I was thinking that I may use it to make some sort of board to put pictures or notes or something like that on. So we'll look at it and see what we can do with it. All right, so I'm between this one and this one, both really pretty. This one is also super pretty, but I feel like it might have a little more orange in it than I want. So since it's our bedroom and my husband is such a good sport, I think I'm gonna stay away from the flower today, and I'm gonna use this one since it is pink already, I can at least not do flowers. All right, so we'll go with this one, and then we have our gray. And our mats. So I do have a large mat that I may use for the last two. So my mats are a little in need of being cleaned for sure. So we'll start with the gray. So for those of you who are new with cricketing, the your mat, so your little opening here is your upside, and your mat gives you dimensions across it, so in inches, and then metric is if you turn it the other way. So you can use, you know, whatever size piece that you need. You can actually look at how it displays on your mat and, you know, decide how you're going to place it. Now these I know are big. I'm just going to use this whole roll, and then you're going to put that on your mat. Now you do want to make sure that you don't have a bunch of air bubbles in it, because it could mess up your cut. Sometimes when my stuff's been rolled for a while, I will take my little scraper as I put it down and make sure I don't get any bubbles. When I have big pieces that I don't know how much I'm going to actually need, I will actually roll it up on my mat like this and do it, but you just have to make sure that it's rolled, because if it comes down, it will mess up your mat. So I'm going to hit continue, and it wants to know my accessory, so I just hit my Cricut Air 2 on there. So I have my Cricut set to vinyl. If you're going to use a particular type of vinyl other than regular, you know, make sure you go to custom so that you can set to what you need. All right, now it's ready. So I'm going to load in my mat. Now, when you're loading in your mat, make sure that you get under the two little guides here, because if you're sitting on top of it, it's not going to load well. And what I found is I like to sort of press my mat in as I'm hitting my buttons. So if you can see here, my little arrow button is flashing. And I like to, like I said, just put a little pressure as it's going, and that way I know it loads well under my little rod here. And then now my C on my Cricut is flashing. It's telling me it's ready to go. I'm set on vinyl. And I press that, and here we go. And then, so what I mean by, you know, it could mess up your mat if you let this hang down, is it can mess up your cut. Not necessarily your mat, but like when I've not been really paying attention and I've just let the roll go, it's kicking it, then it's gotten caught like under the little handle here and been messed up. Okay, so load next mat. We'll hit OK. Pull this out. Now I have this guy. All right, and then this one's gonna be my O, so I'm gonna put my pink on here. And hit my C. Off of here. I love these Cricut scissors. They are so good. That's the one thing with the Cricut brand utensils. They feel really, really good in your hands. Cut off my gray. I do know that I'm kind of pushing it on what I have. Load next mat, okay. Now, I haven't tried this before, so let me, I'm gonna make you guys dizzy, sorry. See if you can see, okay. So I'm gonna change this. You must, let's see if I can do that. No. So if I wanted to change the mat, I'd have to cancel the current cut. Let's try this. Okay, so we've got our L. I'm going to get rid of that. We've got our O. I'm going to get rid of that. I mean, not that it matters. I just want to see what would happen, honestly. So we're going to replace it. And we're going to change our mat size. We've got the 12 by 24. Yep. All right. So make it. All right, I have my nice big mat. I went ahead and put my material on it over on my other table just so that there was room. Now, the reason why I wanted to use this big mat is because, you know, I know that it's gonna take a lot of gray and I wasn't exactly sure if I was gonna have enough. Turns out I do because it's hanging actually off the bottom there, but we're going to use our gray. So now we're going to, it's telling us to put it in and press our button and here we go. So a lot of times people will buy these big mats like this and cut them in half to have two mats at a little bit better price. I personally like to have the big mat available, even though I don't use it very often. When I do need it, it is nice to have. I'm not great at editing the videos, you know, I'm still learning all of that, but I do try and cut out just blank time that make the videos much longer. So like if I get up to put something on the mat or whatever. All right. complete. Perfect. Okay, so, and it turns out that I have some gray left. I tell you, this roll of gray, I think I bought it at Walmart actually. And I don't even feel like it was a lot, but it was such a big roll. Like, honestly, I have used this gray so much, and it has really, actually just really lasted a lot. Okay, I'm just gonna cut off my piece here. So one thing too, I do tend to cut around and save little pieces of material. I like to turn it upside down and pull it off. Getting that's out of the way. I do tend to cut around and save pieces of material because, again, the material can certainly be expensive, and this hobby can be expensive, so I just really do not like to waste pieces that I don't have to waste, because I find myself like in the position of utilizing my little extra pieces a lot. I have a little book, I know I've shown it before, but I have a little book that I keep all my extra pieces in. So that when I need something, I just go to it. Now the E and the V are very close here, so I'm just gonna separate them. But you gotta be careful because I also don't wanna cut the letter. There's my E. I mean, you can see, I know it's a little bit of time to cut off this extra, but you can see, I mean, you can see how much material I would waste had I not, you know, taken a minute to cut it off. And there are a lot of things that you can do with these pieces. See, I mean, the pieces are actually, you know, pretty good sized pieces. All right, so here is my E and my V. So I'm going to weed it. These are so big that I really don't need my weeding tool. I'll just get the end going, and you know, if they're small and intricate, I would need my weeding tool. And I also have my my light if need be. there's my V. And my E. I love weeding. Weeding is fantastic. It makes me feel very happy. All right, so we're going to quickly go through the rest of this. Okay, so everything is done and I am putting my transfer tape. Now, I'll be honest with you, with things this big, I don't necessarily always use transfer tape, but we will for this one. Now, I know this might look sort of weird, but so I have this roll, which I really, really like. But it's kind of small, so sometimes I have to, but the nice thing with transfer tape is you could just put it on top of the other, and sometimes I have to just kind of overlap it to make it work. Now on this, I just went ahead and put it here too, and I'm leaving it because I will reuse the transfer tape, and I will use it for each letter. Now, the one thing I did think about was, I was so worried about turning this O. However, it doesn't matter because when I put it on my board, I'm going to put it however I want. So that's kind of funny. Now the O, I'll go ahead and put transfer tape on that one also. And then that way we'll do 2 of these together. And then I'll just do the other 2. It's hard because you want to be very detailed, because I know, like, when I was learning, well, I'm still learning to do so much stuff, but as I've been learning, the detail is important, but then it can be a little bit challenging because too much detail makes the videos a bit long. I do my best to erase out blank space out of the videos, even though I'm not great at, putting them back together after. Sorry for that, but I do try to get rid of blank space because I know that the videos can be quite long, and I try so hard to be very thorough. All right, so we take our extra off, and now our O is ready. Do the same with our L. And then we'll move down to our picture and we'll put these on. And we have our L ready. All right, we're gonna move down to our picture. We're gonna put these on. All right, so we'll be right back. All right, so I actually just have them turned upside down right now, and I did clean off my plexiglass with some Windex, but I'm just putting these down like this just to make sure of, you know, how I want them before I put it on. All right. So I think that's good. So now I'm going to take this guy and just kind of eyeball him on where I want him. You know, sometimes it's easy to get very hung up with whether or not our transfer tape is wrinkle-free, but remember, it's really about your decal, not your transfer tape. Especially when you're doing round things. I find myself getting very in the weeds because my yeah, because like my transfer tape might be wrinkly, but you know, I'll sometimes forget that if my picture underneath is not, then it's okay, because it's actually about the picture that's underneath. I always just put the transfer tape on the side of my desk as I'm waiting to use it again. Use my little scraper tool here just to make sure I don't have any bubbles. And then put my O. And this is fun, especially like if you like to be able to change up, you know, the pictures and stuff that you have. Gives you a good opportunity to do so. All right, so now we've got our L and our O on. So I'm going to put the rest of it on, and then I'll come back and show you the finished product. All right, so it is all done. It's kind of a big picture, as you can see, but turned out super cute. That little weird spot right there, and with the O, that's just a shadow from it being leaned against the closet. Now those last two letters, I did not use transfer tape on them. I put them on without it. I know not everybody's comfortable with that. However, for bigger things, I do like to just place them on. So I hope you enjoyed this project. It's so much fun being able to craft and do these fun little things with our Cricut. So I hope you have a beautiful rest of the day, and thank you so much. Keep crafting and be happy.